Who knows the ways of the human heart? We do. We're going to start by drawing one of the inner structures of the human heart. This would be the right atrium. Notice I'm not closing the lines because I would like for those lines to become the atrioventricular valves. I'm going to make those lines emerge right into the ventricle. The ventricle has sort of an odd shape to it here, but it ultimately comes up to the passageway to the lungs, which has these semilunar valves. Now we can just kind of close this circle, give it another semilunar valve, and connect right there. So we have half of the internal structure of the heart finished and ready to go. Up on this side, we're going to do the same thing with the left atrium. Again, don't quite close the circle because we need some valves, and we can go ahead and start the left ventricle, moving on up. And then our semilunar valves are going to be a little bit less pretty and on their own over here, but we can provide them here. And then right over there. All right, so we've got our valves, and just so that we can be clear here, the flow of blood is going to go something like this. Deoxygenated blood comes up and out. Oxygenated blood from the lungs is going to come in two places and ultimately travel up and out of the body. But we're not done yet. Of course, on the outside of this, we need a nice, thick, muscular wall, and that is going to be even thicker down towards the bottom because the ventricles are really what's doing all the heavy lifting here. Now, right here, we can go ahead and start to create what are called the superior or anterior vein cava, and then the inferior or posterior of the same. So if we go up and we create a circle here, that indicates one of them, and this can indicate the other over there, coming from the upper and lower portions of the body, respectively. Now, if we're going to follow this blood on the way out, we need to go to the pulmonary arteries, which right here are going to separate in two directions, one off to the left lung and another one off to the right lung. We'll leave that unfinished here for a moment. Coming back to the left atrium, we've got a couple sections, the pulmonary veins coming back from the lungs with their freshly oxygenated blood. Here's the ones from the left lung. Here are the ones from the right lung, and they are eventually going to move in. Now, this goes out to the aorta, which is a very large structure in the body, and that's why we didn't finish that line earlier. We want to give this aorta its due credit. So it swoops up, and then it swoops down, actually around the back of the heart. Now that we've got that, we can finish our other pulmonary artery, and just a little bit closing the lines here. This is a pretty good diagram of the human heart. Of course, it's not perfectly labeled, and so we need to know what each object is called, generally which way blood is moving, and of course the functions of those different objects.